everyone, and welcome back to another episode of House of Queens. Today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. We are going to be talking about people who ask you for money, what to say to those people, and how to set those boundaries. So Ty, do you want to start off with sharing an experience that you've had with somebody asking you for money?
I've had too many. I feel like the most disturbing times are when it's from someone I don't even know. Mm-hmm. And frequently I'll get, like, for an example, random friend requests on Facebook. And a few years ago, and this is part of the reason why I stopped sharing, like, my sales on Facebook. But a few years ago, a random guy sent me a friend request, and like within a few months of like us being friends on Facebook, he sent me a message asking if I can send him money. And
just out of the blue?
Out of the blue.
Like no hello.
Got a hello.
But like no
he
hello.
wasn't,
like just straight up, hey.
Yeah, like, hey, it was his family was going through a tough time and he needed money for medicine for like his mom. And he said he didn't have anyone else to turn to or anything like that. So yeah, he felt comfortable enough to ask me for money. And it was really strange because, like I said, I accepted the friend request, but we didn't have a conversation prior to that. It was just, that was our first interaction.
Interaction is him asking you for money.
Which was really weird. But then I also, obviously, I was like, hell no, and removed him on my friend list because what the fuck. But I also had people that I do know ask me for money. But the thing that bothers me the most is when someone, even if I know them, like I haven't talked to you in a few years or a few months, and we don't have that type of relationship, but they feel the need that it's okay, to ask me for that.
That it's okay to ask.
You don't know my situation, number one.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, just because, and again, I think oftentimes people feel like, oh, she's doing very well for herself, and I am. But that doesn't give someone an invitation to come to me and ask me for money.
No, I feel the same way.
If we don't have that type of relationship. So I've had friends or acquaintances ask me, you saw that situation a few months ago. Mm-hmm. I haven't talked to this lady in 6 months and she asked me to pay her rent. So I feel like that's just a really heavy boundary to cross.
It is, but what I wanted to say was that I feel like it's gotten so common and so easy for people to just ask, especially those people that don't even really know you and are acquaintances, aren't even close friends. Like, it's become such an easy thing to ask for, and I never understood why.
I don't understand why
either. It's a vulnerable thing to ask, and I've been in that situation a couple times, and I absolutely hated myself. It was probably the worst sleep of my life when I owed somebody money. It wasn't for more than a couple weeks, but I would stay on top of it. The thing with these people, though, like I'm sure in your situations and in my experiences, those people act like, if you lend them the money, which I have in the past, and it was my biggest mistake ever, but those people tend to not really talk about it after, it makes you feel like an asshole to go and ask for your money back because they just don't bring it up.
Well, it's not even like them not even bringing it up. If you bring it up, they make you feel guilty for being like, hey, when can I get my money back?
And it's been like, if it's been a while too, like for me, someone's owed me like it's not even a little amount, it's a few grand, and it's like it's been over a year, and that person just, there's a couple people actually, but those people are just like vanished off the face of the earth.
Yeah. And
that money is like nowhere to be seen. But when I owed people money, and it wasn't even a lot of people, it was like 2 people, I literally was like, I'm gonna get it back to you in a few weeks. Here's the time frame. I would constantly check in with them and make sure like I'm reassuring them. But I just feel like I never got the same energy back from the people that owed me money, and that's just where I vow to never let it happen again.
Yeah.
If it was like maybe you and I, it's a completely different story, but we don't have many other friends anyways, or like people that you trust. But even with people that you trust, like they switch up when money gets involved.
100%. And not only that, like I feel like even if I do trust you, I don't want to give you my hard-earned money. Like I have my own bills. I have my own children.
You have your family.
Like why would I mean, out of all people, you come to me.
And that's the thing. People think that like we have money to spare because of how we're doing in life. And it's just, I don't agree
But I'm
with
not
it.
Oprah Winfrey.
No.
And not even Oprah Winfrey gives out money like that. I don't know if you even seen like any videos or anything like that, but she's had constant people come to her, family members included, asking her for money, and she will gladly say no. Like, I know my pocketbook is nice, but no, I'm not giving you money. Like, at the end of the day, especially in this environment, you could literally hop in a car and drive for Uber and make money in a week. They'll pay you out in like 2 days. If you don't have a car, get a bike. If you don't have a bike, walk and deliver the food. Do whatever you have to do, but there are so many means and so many opportunities to make money.
But people are lazy.
You can donate blood. They have like so many incentives for plasma donators. They give you like $1,000 sign-on bonus to donate plasma, and you can go twice a week, and like outside of that bonus you get paid like $50 every time. I know this because I was in that place where I needed extra money and I found any way possible to make it, and I would not ask anyone for money because I'm like, it's 2018, 2019, there's a million ways to make money. We're all struggling here. Why would I ask someone else? You know?
Right.
And I was fine. Like, was I great? No, but I made it happen.
And you figured out a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many other solutions that people can look into and figure out because, again, like you said, it's 2024. There are so many ways. Different paths to take to make money.
Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber driving, Lyft. So many avenues, and those people make great money, and they're great side hustles. So before you like ask someone for money, like consider your options. Like, there's so many options. It's just strange. So what would you say to someone today that will ask you, can I have some money?
Honestly, a simple no should suffice, because who the fuck are you? Why are you asking me out of all people for money? But it's happened to me kind of recently where I've just said, like, you know, I'm sorry, I don't have money to spare. Like, I have money, but do I have money to give out to people and to help out? No.
I just feel like I don't feel comfortable giving money to Americans. If it was like someone in Africa and they're like, hey, I'm trying to send my kids to school.
But that's a completely different story, though. Now, if it's like, you know, I've donated before. I've been glad to donate, and that's a completely different story.
Charity, I'm so happy with.
Same.
But an American?
You live in America.
And you're able-bodied?
That's the thing. Yeah, I tell people I don't have money to spare. Like, now is not a good time for me. I have so much going on that I have to pay for, and there's been a few times where I've said that I've had very bad experiences with lending people money, and I just won't do it again. So I'm sorry. I'll help you find out a solution, but I can't lend you the money.
Yeah.
And, you know, solutions typically, I mean, they might hate me for it because people are lazy nowadays and they don't want to get up off their ass and go look for a solution. But
yeah, and that's what I did last time too, like a couple of months ago when someone asked me. Like I said, it was an acquaintance. Had a whole ass husband too. Like, she had.
Can we talk about that for a second?
That was crazy.
You have parents, you have siblings, you have a spouse or a significant other. Yet you're coming to me, especially if you haven't talked in months.
Yeah, it's really
disgusting.
It was really strange, and the timing was like on cue too. Because like I said, I did like a just sold post or something, and she was like, "Oh hey," but. Yeah, she has a husband in her house. So I thought that was really strange because I'm like, what's hubby doing? But I didn't want to get into the weeds. I just told her, like, hey, I have it wrapped up in other commitments right now. Yeah. So I just don't have the time or the resources to lend out. However, you can donate plasma. You can do this. I can even drive you because she had like broken her leg or something and she was like in a cast. So she was like, oh, I can't drive Uber. And I was like, sweet, you want to do like a payday loan? I can drive you to go to a cash advance place. In the meantime, like there's even those resources. Because again, I named everything that I did in the past.
Yeah, because
when
you
I
had
was
that
broke.
experience. Yeah.
And I gave her so many options and she just didn't want to do it. But eventually, like she hit me up like an hour or two later. And I think I told you, she said that her brother ended up giving her money.
Oh, no, you didn't tell me that.
No, her brother ended up giving her money. She was like, oh, don't worry about it. My brother said he's going to help me.
So why didn't you go? Yeah.
I don't know.
Should have asked your brother first.
It was really strange, but I'm glad I stood my ground because in the past I did used to feel guilty about it. even especially with family members, but I'm even like that with family members at this point because I know my family, and I know their priorities and where they lie.
Yeah.
If I see you on Instagram partying every weekend and drinking up a storm, and then you,
oh my god, can we talk about that too?
Text me, like a week later asking me for money, I'm gonna be like,
what the fuck were you
spent
doing
it on that bottle last week? So no, I'm not giving you money.
But another thing is, like, when I was following, everyone's blocked now. Like, whoever owed me money is blocked now because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with you. But somebody that owed me money was like flexing a bunch of shit on Instagram and all over, and I'm like, you literally owe me a few grand. Like, how are you going to buy a car right now? That's my money that you're buying it with.
They typically do that.
Like, oh my god, like, it made me sick to my stomach. It made me so mad. I swear I like fell into depression because I was like, what the actual fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then there's the people that lie. Like, I've experienced somebody not too long ago that owed me money.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about that girl who asked you to stay at your house.
Oh, that too. That's a whole other topic. But I live with my parents, like my sister, my grandma's coming to visit us from back home soon, like full house. And even if I did have the space, I'm just not comfortable with having an acquaintance stay over at my place for like a few months to 6 months. That's just
she's
so
not even
weird
truly like an acquaintance.
No, she's a previous coworker.
And get this, y'all. She said, hey, I'm like in a really terrible living situation, but like I really need a place to stay, and like I'll pay you rent.
Yeah, she said she'd pay me rent and
I
give
was
me
like,
food and like get me a membership at some place. And I'm like, I don't need that.
So you have rent money, but you want to stay under her roof.
That's just so awkward to me.
It's really weird.
If it was anybody else, like besides you, it's an absolute no. That's just such an uncomfortable thing for me. Even if I lived alone, I just don't think I could do it, honestly. But what I was saying is there was this person that still owes me money to this day. I hope you're fucking watching this.
Pay her back.
Pay me back. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. But like, it would be nice to have a few grand in my pocket. But he like kept telling me that he would send the money, right? It was somebody that I was doing like kind of work with, like marketing work with.
Yeah.
Kept telling me that he was going to pay me back and blah, 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 blah. And then eventually, like, I was just like going in on him because I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, pay me my money back. I'm done doing this with you. And he just kept lying. Like, oh yeah, I sent a check. I'm like, where's the fucking check? It's been 2 weeks. Checks don't take that long to deliver. I was like, just send me the money via Apple Pay or Cash App or Venmo. Oh, I got locked out of my accounts due to like fraudulent activity. And I'm like, okay. And then he made me open this like Wise account, which I never heard of prior to him telling me about it. But apparently it's pretty popular amongst like music producers and like people transferring money. I even went like, that was a long process. I opened one of those accounts.
Still nothing. You're wild as fuck for giving money to a man, first of all.
For work? For marketing?
Oh, I thought you meant
know who
like,
I'm talking about.
I don't.
Oh, well. It was somebody that I hired to do like my marketing stuff with, but he was also somewhat of like a friend. Like we developed a little bit of a friendship.
How do I know him?
I told you about him. He's the gay one? No, she doesn't remember. Anyways.
Irregardless, he owes you money and he hasn't given it to you.
Yeah, a few people owe me money. So if y'all are watching this, I am waiting for it and I will find you.
I think how we just like want to conclude this is that I hope people understand, like especially in these times, that like it's just not appropriate, especially like if you're not close with that person, to ask for money.
I think feel it should like be the last resort. Like
it should really be the last resort. Like you're dying.
Like your life is literally depending on it. And even then, I'm so sorry, but I would have to like rethink it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I was, even with me, I had a hard time like with that check. I was like, what do I do? Because like if I was in that situation, but then I was like, again, if I was in that situation, I'd figure it out.
You've been in that situation.
Yeah, so just figure it out, and like don't assume someone's in a position to do that. if you I think the best approach if you really need to ask someone for money is like, say, hey, how you doing? Great. Oh, that's great. I'm happy you're great. I'm having a really hard time right now. I can't pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. Like, tell them your story. And if they feel so inclined to offer you help, then great.
Because a story can be a false story.
Girl.
I don't believe that. I don't. I really don't, because I've seen it all. I've been through it all. At this point in my life, like, I'm just very cautious about who I even talk to.
Yeah. I think that's just our personalities in general, though.
Well, right, but I grew into this because I wasn't like this always. I was very friendly. I was open to having more friends, but like it takes for certain shit to happen for you to change. And it might not be an amazing change because I'm not as open and I have walls up and I'm kind of mean sometimes, but I think it's those boundaries that are important.
Yeah.
To set at the beginning of every friendship and even with other people.
Yeah.
Like, set those boundaries.
Yeah. Or put yourself in that person's shoes. Like, ask yourself, like, if I were on the other side of the table, would I feel comfortable with this? I think that is, like, key. Like, would I feel comfortable with someone who I barely speak to asking me for money?
No, I was reading.
Especially if you're a man.
Oh my God, that's even more ugly, dude.
I don't like it.
Like, who owes me money still.
Yeah.
And that's ugly. That's so ugly because that motherfucker went on to buy a car, a really nice car, actually.
Oh, that's who you were talking about.
No, the marketing dude was different.
No, you mentioned the guy who bought a car and you saw it on Instagram. Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
That's very scary.
And he's blocked, so I saw it through someone else.
Oh, nice. Oof.
Ugly. It's very ugly. But, I read online, so many people have crazy stories about lending money to friends or, like, even in-laws. Like, people have crazy stories about in-laws,
The family is the worst.
Family is the worst. I saw some shit happen in my family, too. Not with me personally, but, like, amongst others that I knew about because I'm, like, I'm always in it. I'm always in the drama. But it's wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild. And I'm just like... Don't ask people for money, please. Like, let it be your last resort. And it really changes your relationship. Because now I want nothing to do. Like, I was actually very close to a lot of those people, and now I want nothing to do with them ever again.
Yeah.
It really changes your relationship.
It does, and it's really sad. But, take the advice, and we want to hear from you guys. Like, were you ever put in a position where, whether it's someone you're really close to that ask you for money? Like, how did you handle that? Did you give them the money? And if so, what was the end result? Did they pay you back? Is the relationship severed?
I would love to know if they paid you back.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. We'd love to hear from you guys. It's a really touchy subject because it's about money. But, we want to hear from you. So leave a comment and we will see you in the next episode.